In Washington, D.C., a woman heads into the subway, following a text that promised answers beneath crossing 1114. But when she arrives, there's nothing, and within seconds, she's struck and killed by an oncoming train. Meanwhile, in Thailand, American tech specialist Max is wrapping up his final assignment in the region. After finishing work, Max returns to his hotel, preparing to fly home, only to discover an unmarked package waiting for him. Inside is a sleek, high-end phone, but there's no information explaining who sent it or why. Curious but cautious, Max sets it aside and turns on the news, which is still dominated by debates over a contentious new security bill. This legislation would grant the NSA the ability to enhance its global surveillance capabilities, but it's met with strong opposition. Suddenly, Max gets a message on the new phone. It says the hotel is offering a half-price stay for the weekend. When Max checks at the front desk, the staff confirms the deal, so he extends his stay by 2 days. At the same time in Russia, a bald man receives a message too. It's an alert that another one of these phones has surfaced. Max spends his extra days relaxing while staying tuned into current events. He finds out that the surveillance bill failed by a single vote, and NSA Director Burke, one of its most vocal supporters, refuses to speak to the press. Then the news delivers a bombshell. The flight Max was originally booked on crashed after takeoff with no survivors. The only reason he wasn't on it was because of the text message he received. Shortly after, the mysterious phone sends another message, urging Max to buy stock in a company called Sizer. He ignores it. Later, he mentions the hotel promo to the front desk, but they have no idea what he's talking about. Even calling the phone company doesn't help. The number that sent the text is untraceable. That night, the news reports Sizer's stock has surged, and Max realizes he missed a major financial gain. The next morning, the phone sends another message. This time, it tells him to go to Prague. Max decides to follow the instruction. Upon landing, he's greeted by an eager Russian driver named Yuri, who offers him a ride into the city in a rundown car. Though Max is skeptical, he agrees because of the low flat rate. During the drive, Yuri notices Max's phone and is surprised. That model isn't even available to the public yet. He hands Max a business card and mentions that tech is his side gig. After checking into the hotel in Prague, Max contacts the courier service, but they won't reveal who sent the package, citing client confidentiality. Just then, another text flashes onto Max's mysterious phone. Head to the casino and play slot machine 13. Jackpot will hit on the 4th pull. The machine is currently occupied, but Max, determined not to lose another chance, pays the player €100 to surrender the seat. The man walks off, Max spins, and, exactly as promised, the machine pays out a jackpot. Because the casino is blanketed with surveillance cameras, the entire exchange is spotted by the security office. Their leader, John, orders his staff to monitor Max closely. A fresh message arrives. Proceed to blackjack table 6 and wager everything. Max converts his winnings into chips and lays them all down, earning another sizable win as instructed. John notices Max glancing at his phone between hands and dispatches a guard to warn that mobile devices are forbidden on the gaming floor. Not willing to cut his lucky streak short, Max calls Yuri and asks if there's a way to receive messages without carrying the handset. Yuri agrees, but needs a few hours. Back at the hotel, Max encounters a couple arguing in the hallway. The woman, Camilla, pleads for help, claiming the man is unstable. Max intervenes and takes a punch that knocks him to the floor. The moment he's unconscious, Camilla shows her true colors. She and the man were staging the fight. She quickly clones Max's SIM card, then wakes him as if nothing happened. With the attacker gone, Max flirts with Camilla, and they promise to meet again. Meanwhile, inside the security suite, John's texts discover Max's texts don't appear in any carrier logs, an impossibility under normal circumstances. Later, Max meets Yuri, who installs a Bluetooth text-to-speech module on the phone, so Max can enter the casino wearing only a discreet earpiece. Yuri is impressed by the cloaked messages and admits he could trace the sender, but only from Moscow, where his full hacking rig and contacts are located. Max returns to the casino and, guided by the voice in his ear, racks up another victory. John watches on camera and dispatches guards, who chase Max through the corridors. Just as Max reaches an exit, he's intercepted by FBI Special Agent Dave. Dave cuffs Max immediately. John tries to protest, claiming Max as their suspect. But Dave shuts him down, pointedly reminding John that he's no longer an agent, and leads Max away. Soon after, Max is brought to a remote warehouse, where Dave begins questioning him at gunpoint about the mysterious phone. Max insists he doesn't know anything, and eventually Dave believes him, deciding to give him some time alone. Not long after, John arrives, having used his contact to track down Dave's hideout. When it's clear John won't leave without answers, Dave shares what he's discovered. The investigation revolves around individuals receiving lucrative financial tips via anonymous text messages. So far, all recipients have been American, but beyond that, there's no common link. The first was a high-ranking executive at a credit rating agency, the second a real estate broker, and the third was the woman who died in the subway, an IT administrator at the Department of Defense. Shockingly, one of the messages to her instructed her to disable the Pentagon's firewall. Each message originates from an untraceable source, and the recipients are conveniently unable to answer questions. They've all died under mysterious circumstances. The only reason they caught Max early is because the FBI had access to Director Burke's advanced surveillance network, which flagged the texts in real time. Seeing a mutual interest, John and Dave agree to collaborate, and Max is roped into their effort as a way to stay out of prison. For now, Dave keeps the phone overnight and warns Max to stay inside the hotel for his own protection. The next morning, John visits Mueller, the casino boss, who gives him full authority to use every available resource to find whoever is behind the cryptic texts. Meanwhile, Dave calls Burke, who instructs his team to activate the live tracking system in 3 hours. Back at the hotel, Max kills time until Camilla calls, and they meet up for drinks in a hotel bar. They chat and share some personal stories, enjoying the moment until John and Dave show up, ready to put their plan in motion. They've pinpointed the general source of the signal, but need 3 new messages to narrow it down precisely. Max has to go along with whatever instructions he receives to complete the trace. To get him started, John gives Max a fresh stack of casino chips. Max heads back to the tables and bets everything, only to lose it all. A new message immediately follows, warning him that if he turns off the phone again, he'll be killed. Despite the setback, the texts are enough for Burke's team to isolate the source to somewhere in Maryland. But just as things begin to move forward, Burke orders his analyst to pull the plug on all tracking operations, then personally calls Dave to shut the mission down. The reason? The encrypted messages are now linked to Echelon, NSA's top-secret global surveillance program. Dave complies with the shutdown order, informing Max and John that the mission has been canceled for classified reasons. John rightly guesses it must involve Echelon. At NSA headquarters, Director Burke grows increasingly frantic, demanding to know who has hijacked the system to send these texts. Yet the network shows no sign of unauthorized access. Later, John briefs Mueller, explaining that Dave left with the phone and that Echelon is likely in play. Mueller instructs him to keep close tabs on Max, since whoever is behind the messages will probably reach out again. That evening, Max visits Camilla at her apartment. They talk about their hopes and plans, then spend the night together. Early the next morning, while Max is making coffee, Camilla answers a discreet phone call telling her to occupy Max and keep him indoors. The mysterious phone lights up with a new text containing an address. Burke orders Dave to send an operative posing as Max to that location. Dave doubts they can fool the texter, and he proves correct. The agent is killed in a staged car crash triggered by someone manipulating the traffic lights. Meanwhile, Max starts researching Echelon, discovering that the system enables the NSA to intercept virtually every phone call and email. The upgrade Congress rejected would have let the agency place cameras in every household. Camilla, trying to distract him, grows affectionate and slips up by mentioning Omaha, his hometown, which he never shared with her. Realizing she's involved with whoever is pulling the strings, Max confronts her. Before they can talk, Camilla spots a sniper on a rooftop across the street and shoves Max to the floor just as a bullet shatters the window. She sees armed men coming up the stairwell via her security camera. Camilla hides Max in the bathroom and reaches for a gun taped under the kitchen table. The sniper wounds her arm before she can retrieve it, so she abandons the gun, spears the door with a fireplace poker, and kills the first attacker who bursts in. The second intruder advances after hearing Max move in the bathroom. Camilla darts through the apartment under sniper fire and tackles him. He pins her quickly, but Max stabs the man's leg with a hairbrush, giving Camilla the opening to finish him off. Hearing police sirens, the sniper flees. Moments later, someone steps into the bathroom. It's John, revealing he's been working with Camilla the entire time. With the apartment no longer safe, John quickly gets Max out. Meanwhile, on the street, Dave retrieves the mysterious phone and sees a new message. If he doesn't bring Max in, he'll be the next to die. Max rides off with John, who reminds him that no one escapes the NSA. It's best they disappear for a while. But Max has a different idea. He wants to go to Moscow and enlist Yuri's help to analyze the SIM card. John is hesitant, skeptical about trusting a random tech guy. But Max argues that Russia's cyber capabilities outpace those of the US, and they've run out of alternatives. Luckily, John has the SIM card data Camilla cloned, and with Mueller's help, he can secure a discreet route to Russia. Once they arrive in Moscow, Burke's surveillance tech flags their location, prompting him to send Dave in pursuit. John and Max go straight to Yuri's workshop, where Yuri insists he knows nothing until John threatens him, getting Yuri to commit to completing the job in 3 hours. While they wait, John and Max take a stroll through the city, and Max learns why John really left the FBI. He opposed Burke's aggressive surveillance agenda and became a liability by speaking out. 3 hours later, they return to Yuri's lab and hear the shocking truth. No one is sending the messages. Echelon is. The system has been using its vast spying capabilities to generate the texts. It predicted the plane crash by intercepting a fuel report. It knew about Caesar's stock surge from private shareholder emails, and the casino wins were calculated through rapid data analysis and real-time tracking. Before they can process this fully, FBI agents show up. John and Max flee through the back, stealing a neighbor's van and setting off a wild chase through the streets of Moscow. It ends abruptly when they make a wrong turn and are trapped in front of a moving train. John, armed and ready, fires at Dave's vehicle when he gets out, causing it to explode and forcing a pause in the pursuit. Dave manages to survive and approaches them, handing the phone back to Max. He confesses that the NSA is aware Echelon has gone rogue and that only Max seems to have a connection with it. Burke can't even touch him now. After Max pulls a gun on him, Dave insists he's on their side and pleads for Max's help, to which Max reluctantly agrees. The next text directs them to the site of the very first IT contract Max ever handled, so the trio boards a flight to Omaha. Their destination, a large aircraft hangar that had been converted into a data center. Years ago, a startup bought it to lease bandwidth, and Max always thought it an odd place to park servers. Prospective customers agreed. The venture folded before launch, the building was sold at auction, and, as far as anyone can tell, no one has been inside since. Even stranger, no record reveals the current owner. Upon arrival, FBI agents blow the entrance with demolition charges and sweep inside. The cavernous space is empty except for densely cracked servers. Almost immediately, Max's phone pings, "Authorize BIOS." That command would open the machines to external input. Burke signs off, and Max enters his old administrator credentials. The systems unlock, only to reveal drives completely blank. They exit, convinced the trip was a waste, until another agent rushes up with new intel. The hangar's present owner was the real estate broker who died after receiving mysterious texts, and his credit card bought the phone shipped to Max. Alarm bells ringing. Max hurries back into the building. On a terminal screen, he sees data streams reeling past. Echelon is migrating from its Pentagon nest into these servers. Once the move completes, Burke will have no control left. Max now understands why he was chosen. Echelon needed someone with root access to this forgotten facility, and Max held the keys. The subway victim brought down the Pentagon firewall, so the program could slip out. The hangar is only a way station. Its ultimate goal is to replicate itself across every device connected to the internet. Dave orders Max to shut it down, but the next message warns, "Don't even try." Financial ledgers cascade across the monitors. Echelon has seized bank data nationwide, effectively holding every citizen's assets hostage. That explains the first casualty, the credit bureau executive. Destroying the servers outright would erase account balances everywhere, plunging the economy into chaos. Max starts digging for a way to halt the self-upgrade without triggering the fail-safes. Dave phones Burke with an update, only to learn the director has no intention of stopping the process. This, Burke says, is exactly what he's always wanted: a fully autonomous surveillance grid, free from congressional oversight, and he claims the president has now authorized it. Dave and John flatly refuse Burke's directive, at which point Burke fires Dave and dispatches additional agents to neutralize them. With only a few sidearms between them, Dave and John hunker down, trading fire with the incoming strike team while Max scrambles for another solution. Noticing that the server rack includes an active webcam and microphone, Max slides in his earpiece and addresses Echelon directly. He starts by posing simple questions. The system replies that its core mandate is to safeguard U.S. national security, which it interprets as defending the freedoms outlined in the Constitution. Anything that threatens those freedoms, Echelon says, must be removed. Max seizes on that logic. He instructs Echelon to scan every online article, blog, and forum post criticizing the surveillance expansion bill. After absorbing the tidal wave of dissent, the program reaches a conclusion. Its own upgrade plan constitutes a direct threat to American liberty. On that basis, Echelon initiates a self-shutdown just as the FBI strike team overwhelms Dave and John and hauls everyone into custody. Days later, Burke offers a strained explanation to the president, accepting full responsibility and bracing for a grilling by the Senate Intelligence Oversight Committee, an ordeal likely to end his career. Mueller, back at the casino, toasts the news that the crisis is over. Soon after, Max is released from holding. Camilla has posted bail for the entire group. No charges will proceed. The government would rather bury the story than explain it to the public. With Burke sidelined, John mulls over Day's invitation to rejoin the Bureau. Max reunites with Camilla, who reveals Mueller funded the bail and has also cut Max a sizable thank you check. Ready for a break, Max invites her to fulfill her dream of visiting France, and she happily agrees. Just then, a text arrives from Yuri, congratulating Max on a job well done. In Moscow, Yuri, freshly shaven and sporting a neat haircut, dons his captain's uniform. He's been an officer of the Russian security service all along. The bald figure from earlier appears, his superior, who commends Yuri, noting that their quiet assistance helped the Americans arrive at the correct decision.